I grew up in this backyard. I spent most of my time the same as anyone else with a happy childhood, playing wiffle ball, throwing pine cones, and lighting things on fire. I think in those days I was pretty sure I'd have everything figured out by now. Own a couple islands, win the World Series, have more money than I know what to do with. At the very least, I'd be famous.
All right, now George. Ooh, wow.
But here I am. I'm on the verge of turning 29 and I'm still unsure about almost everything. I don't know who exactly I want to be when I grow up. I have an MBA, but taxes still confuse me, and I don't even own a car. But I love you, Carly. I know that with more certainty than anything else I've ever known. Maybe it's the only thing I've ever really known. And it's good to be sure of something. Otherwise, you wander aimlessly in orbit. That's mostly how I spent my days before we met. Not a bad way to live, it's just a lot of floating. But then you came along, and all of a sudden my world had gravity. My life makes sense when you're in it. There's so many things I want to say, but I've said them all before. Or at least ever since that trip to Lake Berryessa. When we pitched a tent off the side of the road and stayed up all night telling stories that were way too personal for a second date. It's funny, these moments you stumble into. A random night that changes the course of your life. A stranger who becomes something, and then everything. I don't know where life will take us next, but I do know that every day I get to spend with you is better than one without. So when I think about my future, my plan is pretty simple. Spend as many days with you as I possibly can. That's it. I just really like hanging out with you. Like that one time in Montana, when I couldn't get a campfire going 3 nights in a row. And I was all embarrassed, but you thought it was funny, so we just ate raw corn for dinner instead. Or that romantic trip to Costa Rica, where we shared a bed with you, me, and Marshall. Or all the nights we lie awake and whisper to each other and laugh instead of sleeping. Or this chapter of life we're living right now. How we've lived in 3 time zones in the past couple of years, but as long as I'm with you, I always feel at home. Like the other night, when it started to snow. I went to grab the mail, and as I looked at you through the window, I was struck by the beauty of it all. Not just the expert framing of the window and the falling snow and your silhouette, but how, to me at least, the moment perfectly symbolizes this home we've built in what was once a garage. But most of all, I love who you are, how much you care about squirrels, the way you laugh at your own jokes before you've reached the punchline, how thoughtful you are, how I feel like I'm the best version of me when I'm with you, how there's so many things to lose sleep over, but when I'm with you, none of them seem to matter. How excited I get every time the thought of you crosses my mind. You're like an endless summer or some perfect poem. How my family likes you more than they like me. How you're you. I know that's too many hows, but the last one is how lucky I feel to have the honor of marrying you. No matter what else happens, it'll be the greatest accomplishment of my life. I love you with everything I've got.